welcome to the Northwest Indiana Heart of Gold Gala Digital Experience and Silent Auction. My name is Carl Berner from Indiana 105.5 FM and Adams Radio Group, and I am honored to be your MC as we raise awareness for cardiovascular disease and stroke in the region. Tonight, we're looking to raise $10,000, which will be matched dollar for dollar, an unprecedented $1 million match that's going on through the entire month of May, thanks to a generous gift from longtime AHA supporters Valerie and Lee Shapiro in honor of Val's mom, Rachel Besser. Throughout the program, you will see a prompt where you can donate, and there is an anonymous option, should you prefer that. It will be up throughout the program so that you can offer a generous gift in honor of someone impacted in your life and also have that gift doubled. So please do consider what gift is comfortable for you and for your family, as every dollar raised tonight means more memories and the opportunity for a healthier tomorrow for our neighbors. We are thankful for our leading sponsors who continue to move the life-saving mission: Strachan Van Til, Centier Bank, NIPSCO, Cleveland Cliffs, Beacon Hill Partners, TNM Industrial, Ozinga, Methodist Hospitals, BMW of Schererville, South Shore Jaguar and Land Rover, IBEW Local 531 and IBEW Local 697, Kindred Hospital, Northwest Indiana, Symphony Care Network, Advanced Care Medical Specialists, and Qubit Networks, New Age Telecom. Well, we have a fantastic program tonight, and it's now my pleasure to introduce Diane Kemp, Regional Vice President of Indiana, Illinois, with the American Heart Association, to share welcoming remarks.
Good afternoon and welcome. We are delighted that you are joining us today for the American Heart Association's Heart of Gold digital experience. And while we can't get together in person just yet, I know that today's experience will be a memorable journey for all. Without any delay, I will hand this presentation over to Jennifer Young to introduce our executive chair for the program.
Thank you, Diane. We're delighted and honored that you have joined us today, and it is my great pleasure to announce our next speaker, our 2021 Heart of Gold Gala Executive Chairman, Jim Clarida, Business Manager, IBEW, Local 531.
Welcome. My name is Jim Clarida. I'm the Business Manager of IBEW Local 531, and I am honored to serve as this year's Heart of Gold Executive Chairman, as well as the Building and Construction Trades Industry Liaison for the American Heart Association of Northwest Indiana. This is a cause that is very important to me both personally and professionally, as several of our members have been taken away way too soon by either heart disease, stroke, or from COVID-19. So journey with me as we learn more about the impact being made.
This is news breaking from the American Heart Association. We are announcing it for the first time right here.
We're back now with a new warning today from the American Heart Association.
De los Estados Unidos, la doctora Regina Benjamin, miembro directivo del American Heart Association.
Case studies indicating COVID may lead to heart attacks. Joining me right now is Dr. Mitchell Elkind. He's president of the American Heart Association.
So have you joined the Boss Family workouts recently with Twitch and Allison? I mean, we love those two, from So You Think You Can Dance, Ellen, and Dancing with the Stars. But now they have teamed up with the American Heart Association.
It's Live with Kelly and Ryan.
Years ago, the American Heart Association revised their out-of-hospital CPR protocol, and it's called hands-only CPR.
She's now sharing her story as part of the American Heart Association's Don't Die of Doubt campaign.
This is all about the American Heart Association's Healthy Bond for Life.
Late today, the American Heart Association putting out an advisory to pediatricians. As sales of marijuana soar during the pandemic, a new warning from the American Heart Association.
Tonight, the American Heart Association sounding the alarm.
A new report from the American Heart Association.
Heart disease is the #1 killer of men and women here in the U.S. and worldwide. So when the American Heart Association puts out a scientific statement, people tend to pay attention.
Y es importante comunicar y American Heart Association quiere comunicar.
Según la Asociación Americana del Corazón, hay 3 factores que contribuyen a padecer del COVID complicado o fatal.
Joining me is Dr. Mariel Jessup, the American Heart Association's top medical officer. Dr. Michelle Albert is president of American Black Cardiologists. She's working with the American Heart Association to research COVID in Black women.
Dr. Larry Mitnall is an American Heart Association volunteer.
KITV4's Maleko McDonald tonight talks with the CEO of the American Heart Association about surprise medical bills.
This is why I love the American Heart Association. They step up in real time to address a need.
Heart disease has in some shape or form impacted every single one of us, or if it hasn't yet, it very likely will. So we need to continue to unite, as only 7% of bystanders actually know how to successfully perform CPR. And this is a challenge that has been very meaningful to IBEW Local 531, along with many of the other trades throughout the region, as this following message will share. So please continue to enjoy the evening and never forget that together we are stronger for the mission.
Jim, thank you for your leadership. Hands-only CPR is a life-saving skill. So join me as we become part of that 5,531 right now and learn hands-only CPR, brought to you by our leading sponsors.
If you see a teen or adult suddenly collapse, it's important to act fast. Helping to save a life is easier than you might think. Just start hands-only CPR. The first step is to send someone to call 911 or call 911 yourself. Then get directly over the victim. Put the heel of one hand in the center of the chest, then put your other hand on top of the first. Then push hard and fast in the center of the chest until help arrives. It's important to push, giving 100 to 120 compressions per minute, which is about the same tempo as the song Stayin' Alive. You see a teen or adult suddenly collapse? Don't be afraid to try it. Remember, call 911, then push hard and fast in the center of the chest until help arrives. Your actions can help save a life.
Well, I, for one, definitely feel empowered. And now, as we prepare to celebrate Father's Day, it gives me great pleasure to introduce to you one brave and inspiring Region Dad. His name is Brian, and this is his story.
We play catch. Yeah. He's not so good at aiming. Because remember.
I was born with a congenital heart disease called transposition. Upon being born, it was a day later, I started to turn blue. At 3 days old, I received my first procedure. And at about a year old, I again was admitted to the hospital and received a procedure to fix the transposition. I lived a normal childhood and early adulthood and teen years. I was able to participate in anything that I wanted to. Sports, extracurricular activities, school, all of that was normal. And it wasn't until my late 20s that some issues began to come up from the heart being weakened.
Yeah, I mean, we were doing everything when we first got married, living normally, traveling normally and that sort of thing, and just not really thinking about it as much because he was feeling so good. And, you know, we're focused on enjoying our lives and building memories together and that sort of thing.
So over time, my heart began to become weak and overstressed from that extra work it was called upon to use. The first issues were lower heart rate when I would sleep. My heart would get down to high 30s, and I had some irregular heartbeats, and eventually I needed to go see an electrophysiologist and receive a pacemaker at the age of 29. I was a land surveyor and I worked outside every day doing construction layout. In my early 30s, once I had the pacemaker, I decided to switch careers and essentially take a desk job and become a construction estimator. Slowly but surely, the heart continued to fail. And along with the pacemaker, I was prescribed medications, diuretics, beta blockers, everything to try and help the heart function more efficiently and take extra water and fluids off of my body and heart and lungs. The heart continued to fail, and eventually the discussions came up about transplant. I had to go to the hospital because, as I mentioned, I had difficulty breathing at night, and I went November 3rd and I received what's called a balloon pump. I was in the hospital from November to March. So overall, while I was in the hospital, I made a list of things that I would be able to do with my new heart. A lot of times people make bucket lists of things they want to do before they die. So I had a list in my mind of things I wanted to do because I would be alive. So some of those things on the list were travel with my family, take my daughter to her first day of school, and more longer term goals for myself was walk her down the aisle one day. And this heart just gives me a chance to be there for my family. I can't explain how great it is to have this second chance at life and just be a dad, be a husband, be a loving family member, brother, uncle to and son to my whole family. It's just incredible that I get this second chance.
Okay. Due to the help from the American Heart Association, my husband has had a really great life and is able to be here for our daughter, for me. I know that without the advancements, my husband wouldn't have the life that he has today. He is able to live a higher quality of life. And then I also don't fear the future as much because I know every day technology is improving. They're constantly researching, and everything will be getting better.
What an incredible, powerful story. And thank you, Brian, and thank you to your family for sharing it with us today. We're here tonight because we believe in the work of the American Heart Association, and we know that when we support this organization, real change happens. Change for Brian and his family, and for every person out there who needs us, as 1 in 2 are impacted directly. And we recognize that these are difficult times. However, many are counting on us. And your donation, big or small, matters. And tonight, we're going to be matched dollar for dollar. So if you can make a donation, you can choose an amount here at the bottom of your screen. You can click the blue donate button on your mobile device or the blue bar at the bottom of your screen, and you can choose your own amount. Whichever amount of gift is suitable, and any amount that you're able to give tonight to add to the effort, we really appreciate that. And we hope that you can donate whatever you can, because again, the goal is going to be matched up to $10,000, which will be generously matched by the Shapiro family. And we can see the amounts coming in, and oh my goodness, look at this total already. Thank you so much. Dr. Cheryl Anthony, Dewey Pierman, Joe and Carol Sanders, fantastic. Thank you so much for your donations. Alexander Stemmer, Brian Wearsby, Dan Waldrop, we're starting to see those numbers come in. So thank you so much. This is so encouraging, and we cannot thank you enough for your generous donations. And again, this donation button will be here throughout the program tonight. So if you're not able to donate exactly right this second, that's okay, because the buttons are going to be there for you throughout the program tonight to make your donation as we continue to see these generous donations coming in. James Franchik, thank you very much. Sohail Azim, thank you very much for your generous donations. Courtney Smith, ooh, Don Clark, they're starting to come in fastly and furiously now. Daniel Brubaker, thank you very much as well. And did you also know that cardiovascular disease, it not only impacts 1 and 2 directly, it's also the #1 killer of women. So that again is just another reason to get more involved, inform yourselves a bit more, and to continue to make every donation possible, because every dollar counts. Every year, Strack and Van Til faithfully leads the charge in providing funding and awareness for this needed charge through their Checkout Challenge in February, which provides an avenue for customers not only to say yes to rounding up their total to the nearest dollar amount, but also to honor a loved one who has been touched by cardiovascular disease or stroke. So as we continue to see these generous donations coming in. Thank you so very much. Look at that total. And I know that we can probably get it a bit more higher before it's all said and done. But join me now as we journey with Strachan Van Til's Chief Operating Officer, David Wilkinson, who serves on the American Heart Association Board of Directors, to learn more.
Hello, I'm Sarah Strachan Van Til, and the American Heart Association Chairman of the Board here in Northwest Indiana. While we are not together in person for the Heart of Gold Gala today, we are certainly joined by the commitment to the life-saving mission. We will celebrate and raise critically needed funding for our community programs right here in the region. Each of us has been touched by cardiovascular disease in some way, either through a family member or a friend. 1 in 2 people are impacted by heart disease and stroke, and that's one too many. At age 58, my father's life was touched by the devastating impact of heart disease, so I carry the torch in honor of him. Strachan Van Til is proud to align alongside the mission of the American Heart Association with our annual Checkout Challenge and corporate sponsorship. AHA brings science to life every day and well beyond the walls of the fine hospitals throughout our community through treatment and protocols that save lives. The biggest impact is made through educating the community about prevention, the chain of survival, and CPR training, which is key to fostering a safer and healthier community. Over the last year, we have seen the impact that AHA has had on COVID-19 and the work they are doing around the challenges, like long hauler post-virus, which will be so important for many who suffer the long-term impacts from the virus. AHA's mission is to be a relentless force to reduce the devastating impact that heart disease and stroke have on patients and their families. Strachan Van Til is proud to stand with them to help accomplish the mission. So please open your heart generously today as we plan to raise critically needed funding for a mission that has touched each of us in some way. So on behalf of the American Heart Association Board of Directors, thank you for sharing in today's program.
For once in my life, I can see clearly there are no clouds in my eyes. So many times it's all been so near, and I'll watch as the moment goes by. And I'm holding on to you like a lifeline. I want to believe it this time. Look at me now and know that I need you, and I'm holding on for dear life. And maybe you'll save me. I'm alive, I'm alive, I'm alive. And maybe I'll make it. I'm alive, I'm alive, I'm alive. I'm trying to explain, if only these voices would be silent just for a while. This feeling I get whenever I'm near you, I'm free, just like a child. And maybe you'll save me. I'm alive, I'm alive, I'm alive. And maybe I'll make it. I'm alive, I'm alive, I'm alive. Once in my life, I can see clearly there are no clouds in my eyes. Look at me now, know that I need you, and I'm holding on for dear life. And maybe you'll save me. I can see clearly there are no clouds in my eyes.
Now that is why it's so important for us to unite and take a stand for our own health and inspire those we love to do the same. It's now my honor to introduce our next speaker, Jean-Louis Mueller, Vice President and GM of Cleveland Cliffs Burns Harbor and HeartWalk Executive Chairman, to share some very inspiring remarks on why it's so important to continue to foster a culture of health.
Good morning, everyone. I am Jean-Louis Mueller. I'm the plant manager here in Burns Harbor, Cleveland Cliffs plant. And it used to be known as the Burns Harbor ArcelorMittal plant. I am also very honored to be the American Heart Association HeartWalk Executive Chair. I have been in 2020. I will be happy to be as well in 2021. And along the years, the plant here has been a partner with the American Heart Association. We've gone through many owners and many plant directors. I am only one of them, but I am happy to keep that going because I know that these 20 years have been very successful in helping with the heart health of our employees and of course the families of these employees. And we have also raised $5 million that have helped the American Heart Association to develop and help with research that has been useful for a lot of people across the world. I have to say that in my own situation, my grandfather died when he was 60 of a heart attack just a few months after taking his retirement. And on the contrary, both my parents have benefited from heart progress and passed their 90 years, and they have had several surgeries linked to their heart, and you see the difference between 60 and 90 years. That's what we are trying to obtain for each and every one here around us and in the US. So I am asking you to embrace the HeartWalk and get your family, your friends, your colleagues, your employees to embrace the HeartWalk again as well. Because we are doing that not only for the HeartWalk, but also for the training, the community programs that all this is funding, the help that is provided to everyone to help men and women reduce risks, monitor their health, monitor their cholesterol level, reduce their smoking. All these things are the key output of what we are doing here with the American Heart Association. And of course, I have to say that I am very honored to receive the American Heart Association Heart of the Community Award. I think this is the result of the commitment of this plant here. I am only one of the many people that have worked to make it possible, but I am the one getting this award, and I am very happy to accept it from the American Heart Association.
Thank you, Jean-Louis, and we join you in celebrating 2 decades of impacting a heart-healthy culture. Thank you so much for leading the way. I'm delighted to introduce our next speaker, Kirk Cordell, dealer principal with BMW of Schererville and South Shore Jaguar and Land Rover, who reminds us that to whom much is given, much is expected.
Hi, my name's Kirk Cordell, and I'm here to talk to you today about the who, why, and what of getting involved with the American Heart Association. The who is you and me, and it really goes back to a lesson that I learned a long time ago, which is If not you, then who? And from those who have much, much will be asked. And this really goes back to a lesson I learned throughout my career. I feel very fortunate to have combined a passion with a profession, and that led to a really nice career with BMW Corporate for about 20 years. I've got a broad global experience that spans North America as the president of BMW Financial Services, Europe as the head of international remarketing and used cars, and also China, where I was the CEO of BMW China. Now, being an American running a German company in China, what does the company do? They send me to finishing school. So I went to IMD Business School, which is based in Switzerland, and had a wonderful professor by the name of Shlomo Ben-Hur, kind of a hard name to forget. And he really went on and addressed the group, and it was a group of young CEOs and business leaders, and kind of went through time and said, listen, in ancient times, really the church and the church officials were the power brokers. It then kind of transitioned to the monarchies. And today it's really the CEOs and the business leaders that are the most powerful people in the world. And those of you sitting in this room are some of the most powerful business leaders and community leaders. And if you're not going to get involved in something, and if you're not going to support something, then who is? So if not you, then who? And it's a message that I've remembered to this day. And from those who have much, much will be asked. So that's the reason for getting involved. That's the who. It's you and I. On the why, well, it's a very personal cause. You know, for my wife and I, my wife Wendy, we went to the Heart of Gold Gala back in 2015. We just moved to the area, and I'm originally from Indiana, but have been out a long time. We went to the Heart of Gold Gala, and on the way home, we were talking about it. We said, you know, this is a very personal cause for both of us. My father-in-law went into the hospital for a triple bypass. He stroked in the hospital afterwards, and without the advancements made possible by the funding through the American Heart Association, probably would not have been able to survive that, live many more years to see his kids get married, have grandkids, and so on and so forth. Likewise, for my father, he had a stent put in place, also had an ablation, and prolonged his life for a number of years. And the why is really a very personal thing, and it's about time and more time with our loved ones. As far as the what, we made it also a very personal endeavor in that my passion is cars. And we said, all right, how do we combine this passion that we have with the mission of the American Heart Association? And so we came up with what's known as Drive for a Cause. It takes place annually out at Audubon Racetrack Country Club in Joliet, Illinois. And it's a way that we were able to kind of put our own personal stamp on things and get behind a new fundraising effort for the American Heart Association and all the good work that they do. Our next fundraiser is going to be Wednesday, September 22nd in the fall. We had to take a little bit of a break last year, but our last event in 2019, we had over 200 people and raised over $94,000 in one evening. So that's the who, the why, and what of getting behind the efforts and the mission of this great organization.
Thank you, Kirk, for your continued leadership and inspiring words. If not you, then who? As we look to the future, it is my great pleasure to introduce you to our incoming 2022 Heart of Gold Gala Executive Chairman. He has collaborated with the National Institute of Health and Eli Lilly on a study that resulted in the FDA approval for the first effective drug to treat early COVID-19, and is currently serving as the AHA Honorary COVID-19 Rapid Relief Champion. Join me in welcoming Dr. Alexander Stemmer.
Thank you, Carl. I'm Dr. Alexander Stemmer. I'm a board-certified infectious disease specialist with a long-standing interest in the care of the advanced elderly. Experiencing the impact on the front lines of the pandemic over the past year has given me pause and has caused reflection. As we envision our path in the coming months, one fact that stands out is the ever-changing understanding of the impact of cardiovascular disease and stroke experienced by acute COVID-19 patients and those who are now called long haulers, suffering with long-standing effects of their infection. For this reason and many others, it is my pleasure to serve as your 2022 Heart of Gold Gala Executive Chairman. With shared commitment, vision, and passion, we will move forward together in our mission to reduce the impact of cardiovascular disease in our region and together build a healthier community. As we prepare to embrace the rest of this program, we should reflect on how we can all be a part of this legacy. Thank you, and I look forward to seeing you in person next year.
Thank you, Dr. Stemmer, and I know you will be rejoining us in just a few moments to address some top-of-mind questions regarding the COVID-19 vaccine. But before that, did you know that there is another epidemic going on right now in our region that is affecting our children? Every day, over 3,500 youths in the US start vaping. In 2018 alone, the number of high school students who vape nearly doubled. And it's taking off like wildfire, even with children as young as 9 years of age. We're doing the important research, advocacy, and education to turn the tide on this dangerous epidemic, but we need your help. Our next community leader is one who has served the mission for over a decade. Mike Schrag, CEO of Sentier Bank, is a champion with heart, leading with commitment and great passion for increasing awareness of the dangers of vaping in youth.
Hi, I'm Mike Schrag, and joining me today are two of my precious grandchildren. I cannot impress upon you enough the importance of addressing the vaping habits of our youth today. We have all been consumed with the COVID pandemic this past year. But please let each of us be aware of the dangers of vaping and save our youth from a life of addiction. Our middle school and high school children are turning to this addictive practice across America. They think it's cool, and their friends are doing it. Help us bring awareness of the true dangers and harm that can come from vaping. Let's save our kids.
I'm Will. I'm a senior in high school right now, 17.
I'm Claire. I'm 16. I'm a junior.
I was 14 when I started vaping. I had smoked cigarettes before for a while. So when they were like, hey, it's the same thing, it's just safer, it's fine, it's like water vapor, there's less nicotine. None of those things are true. So I tried it, and the first thing you notice is how much smoother it feels. It doesn't feel as dangerous as a cigarette does.
Yeah, so for me, I've always been like kind of a goody-goody. I've never been the type to like think to use or like engage in rebellious behaviors. Well, I started vaping when I was probably in 8th or 9th grade. It started through sports, honestly, just people on my team, like that was who I was with most of my time. I didn't like it at first, it hurt, I coughed, I was like, this is icky. Like I was like, it's not my thing.
I mean, as I've gotten more and more into this, I have also noticed how little people know. People will confidently say things that are not correct. Strawberry menthol was my favorite. It tasted like candy, and it had like the cool sensation from menthol.
I think that we need to deal with a bigger issue with this whole vaping epidemic. I think we need to deal with mental health and the reason why people are using. Personally, for me, vaping was a way to have something else like use to cope with my mental health, to cope with my depression, to cope with my anxiety. Why I want to do this video is to like tell people that like you may think it's not going to get out of hand, but it will. And you may think that it's only like this day and I'll quit after this week.
For me, my motivation is mostly to prevent people from succumbing to the mental illness that is addiction, to becoming dependent on a chemical. I felt like my voice might be important because I think it's often overlooked how much a part mental health plays in addiction. People don't seem to know that it's not always a for fun thing. A lot of the times it is a coping mechanism, an escape. I'm diagnosed with depression and anxiety, and it's been a really difficult thing in my life. So when I was introduced to nicotine, it was like, hey, it's this chemical that makes you feel better. And I was in a place where I didn't even care about my own health. It seemed like a win-win. I was hurting myself and feeling better at the same time. When I first started, I was a cross-country runner and cross-country skier. I was on varsity in cross-country skiing in 8th grade. I loved it, but my lung capacity was never the same. After I started, it felt like I was getting out of shape, but I knew I wasn't. Like, I was wondering why these hills were leaving me more out of breath than they used to. And I didn't put 2 and 2 together for months. The scary thing is, it's so new that there hasn't been time for long-term studies. So really, we don't know what it does to people.
I got to the point where I would go through 3 pods a day, which would be, like, my pods held about like 2 milliliters. And so 2 milliliters of juice, if you like look it up, is equivalent to like a pack of cigarettes worth of nicotine. And so technically I was inhaling 3 packs worth of nicotine. I had no idea. Like, I didn't know that there was that much in what I was using. I got so scared, but I was too scared to tell anyone that this was happening to me because I knew I was gonna get in trouble. I hated it, and yet the addiction was so strong that I kept using. And my parents, they did not have the reaction I thought. Like, I thought that they were gonna get so mad. Like, I thought that they were gonna be like, what the heck, Claire? Like, you need to, like, get your life together. Like, we thought you were so much better than this. But, like, no, my mom was like, she sat me down and I talked to my mom and my dad for like a solid 2 hours. I get it, other teens get it, everyone around you gets it. Like, it is not easy, and life is not easy. Like, school's not easy, friendships are not easy, but you need to make it through this hard point in your life so that you can have your future, and addictive chemicals aren't gonna help you get there. Like, addictive chemicals, they're gonna cause barriers, and whether or not you see it now, like, it's not gonna get you to where you wanna be.
Mike, thank you for your leadership and rallying us all to fight for our children to have a longer, healthier future. For tips on how to talk with your child about vaping, please visit heart.org. Now, let's welcome back Dr. Alexander Stemmer, 2022 Heart of Gold Executive Chairman, to shed more light on the impact of COVID-19 on the cardiovascular system and the vaccine as we navigate the next steps in our own personal health journey.
I'm Dr. Alexander Stemmer. I'm a board-certified infectious disease specialist with a long-standing interest in the care of the advanced elderly.
Hello, everybody. My name is Tanisha McSpatton. I'm a registered nurse.
Symphony has asked me to be the medical director of several of their facilities in Northwest Indiana. And when the COVID pandemic began, I was asked to co-chair the COVID-19 task force to develop protective procedures for both our staff and our patients. With the current availability of vaccine, we have one more opportunity to take a giant step forward. So I'm here today to try to address some of the most important questions that I have been frequently asked during the lead up to the introduction of the vaccine. One of the questions I'm asked most frequently is if I will be accepting the vaccine. And the answer is unequivocally yes. I look forward to the opportunity to get the vaccine, not only to spare myself the risk of contracting the disease, but to spare my patients the risk of contracting the disease from me. At the same time, I will be protecting my family, which is an equally important goal. By the time you're seeing this interview, I will have taken the vaccine.
I myself have been asked most frequently, am I going to be receiving a vaccine? And my answer is yes. Being a COVID-19 survivor just lets me know how important it is not to be able to transmit the disease to the residents, to my family, to my friends, and my coworkers. So Dr. Stemmer, the vaccines were developed in a lightning speed. How safe and effective could it be?
While the vaccines have been developed extremely rapidly, we should remember that both Pfizer and Moderna have been working on this technology for about 10 years. The mRNA vaccine technology was developed for both the SARS and MERS epidemics that came much earlier in this century. The federal government has been extremely efficient in making sure that none of the barriers and obstacles that can occur in the testing and approval process delayed the introduction of the vaccine. But no corners have been cut. There have been a large number of people tested, all of their side effects have been documented, and the efficacy of the vaccine has been found to be much higher than expected. We have to recall that our patient population is the population most at risk and represents a disproportionate number of the deaths that occur every day. By our accepting this vaccine and moving forward with it, we protect ourselves, we protect our patients, we protect our coworkers, and we protect our families. I think it's a vital decision and an extremely important opportunity for all of us who are in healthcare.
Would this be a yearly vaccine like the flu?
That is a frequently asked question, and the simple answer is we don't yet know. The coronavirus is a large virus and it does mutate. However, we don't know if these mutations will involve the spike protein, which is the portion of the virus that the vaccine is active against. So only time will tell. At this point, it's too soon to have an answer for your question.
Will the vaccine have any long-term side effects? And also, what are the side effects?
That is an extremely important question, which almost everyone asks. At this point, 40,000 people have received the vaccine and there are no neurologic side effects. There are some side effects which are common. It is common after the vaccine is administered to get pain at the injection site and to get some muscle aches. And it is very common to have fatigue the day after the vaccine, but these symptoms are very short duration. And I should emphasize that the symptoms of the disease are far, far worse than any of the side effects of the vaccine. And protecting ourselves from contracting the disease and having those symptoms is a very important decision on our part.
Is this a live virus?
No. There is no live virus. There is no dead virus. There are no parts of virus that are injected into the person receiving the vaccine. The vaccine consists of a substance called messenger RNA. It's a normal part of the human body. It is manufactured, and the messenger RNA, which is injected, teaches our body to make the spike protein. Our immune system then senses the spike protein and reacts to it, making antibodies to protect us from getting infected. So there is no part of any virus that is going into our body with this vaccine.
Dr. Stemmer, as frontline healthcare workers, is it true that we're being used to experiment to verify the efficacy of the vaccination?
I understand your concerns. And I think the simple and best answer is no, we are not being used in an experiment. We are being given the opportunity to interrupt the catastrophe of this pandemic. Remember that in the skilled nursing environment, COVID-19 has typically been brought in by a healthcare worker who does not know that he or she is ill and have unintentionally transmitted it to patients who then further transmit it to other healthcare workers. As healthcare workers currently, we're being given the privilege to get to the front of the line, to receive this vaccine to protect ourselves, to protect our families, and protect our patients. and to interrupt the process that has caused so many thousands of deaths in skilled nursing facilities. So this is an opportunity, not an experiment.
Do you think the approval of the vaccine was inappropriately accelerated for political reasons?
That's an extremely important question, which many people have asked, and I've considered carefully. I believe that the simple answer is no. Remember, the federal government had nothing to do with the development or the testing of this vaccine. What the federal government did do is financially support the pharmaceutical companies so they could speed up the trial to enroll a large number of patients and properly evaluate the efficacy and safety of the vaccine. And that has all been carefully documented. The federal government also made sure that obstacles in the approval process did not unnecessarily delay the release of the vaccine. Recall that the presidents of 9 pharmaceutical companies pledged in writing not to release any vaccine until all of the efficacy and safety studies were completed and met all of the highest standards. They have lived up to that commitment. The speed of the vaccine is largely due to the fact that Pfizer and Moderna had both been working with this technology because of previous coronavirus epidemics, SARS and MERS. And so the technology was available, and they then got the financial support of the government to get it into effect and completed. But I'm confident in the results of the studies. The vaccine is safe and effective. On behalf of Symphony leadership, I would like to thank our heroes for their hard work and their dedication to our residents. It's been a long haul, but there is now light at the end of this tunnel, and the vaccine is now available. We can now all do our part to put an end to this terrible pandemic.
On behalf of the healthcare workers, I encourage you to do 3 things: to educate, to vaccinate, and to communicate. 1, educate yourself about the vaccine. 2, get the vaccine. And 3, communicate to others on how important it is for us all to be vaccinated to stop this pandemic.
Thank you, Dr. Stemmer, for your insight and guidance. We know it will empower each one of us and those that we love in their decision to get the vaccine. Thank you all for your generosity today, as it's saving lives. And once again, thank you to the sponsors who have made this possible today. Many of them have already committed to continuing their life-saving support next year and into the future to further the mission today. Please join me in celebrating their dedication to our community. We are thankful to all the generous supporters of our mission. As we prepare to transition over to the silent auction, let's check out some of the highlights. Well, it's been my pleasure to be your MC this evening. So let's keep those bidding wars going and transition out in. Again, thank you to everyone who joined us today. We look forward to seeing you, hopefully in person, next year. Be safe, be healthy, and love your heart.